another battle of the Codgers, sponsored by Paladin Piper. What's happening, y'all? Ray here, and today we have the first matchup in round one of another battle of the Codgers. We have Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic in the black stem, and we have Granger in the yellow stem. Now, first of all, I want to say that Corey from Fighting Pipes, he did make me another intro. I forgot to mention this in the other videos that I posted. He made me another intro, but for the life of me, I could not get it to work. So what you're seeing is one that I actually kind of threw together real quick after I made my videos, and I realized, oh man, I can't get this to work. So, you know, I did all that. But anyway, two absolute beasts in the pop tobacco world right out of the gates. First matchup, Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic, and the Granger that I have, I do believe it came from a tin or a bulk. This was the one sent to me by Paladin Piper. It came in a baggie, so I would expect that it was probably out of a tin, because I don't think they offer this in bulk. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have already packed the pipes. I've already lit them, and both of these, for the most part, these are Codger tobaccos. They're OTC tobaccos. They're made to stuff in a pipe and smoke. So forgiving, you know, and that's we're going to see that repetitive nature going on through the course of this series. But almost more often than not, it's there's no relights, there's no true lights, you know, char lights. It's just, you just light it and you puff it and you go, and it'll burn all the way to the bottom. Excuse my phone, my wife has messaged me and it's causing it to vibrate. But man, it's about 90% of all that I smoked over the last I want to say couple weeks to a month has been one of these 8 blends, to familiarize myself with them. Some of them I was already very familiar with, others I hadn't tried up until then, and it's this is going to be super tough, because I found myself at least once with 7 of the 8. I found myself, you know, when I'll be at work or whatever, thinking about what I'm going to smoke when I get home, I would be thinking of one of those, you know, because I was actually looking forward to one of those. So this is going to be a very difficult thing for me, and some people's going to get mad, some people's going to get offended, but this is me. If you don't like my decisions, if you don't like the way I do it, then I would love to see you do your own. That would be amazing. I'd love to watch somebody else do this too. But of course, we all have different tastes. We all have just different senses, you know, when it comes to smelling, and just different preferences when it comes to what we like when we do taste. But anyway, after that being said, after that opening, we're going to go ahead and get to this matchup. We're going to go ahead and do Sir Walter Raleigh first. I'm going to open up and give you the specs on it, because this will also serve as a kind of review for all of these blends, and I'll give you my thoughts on it after all of this. But first of all, Sir Walter Raleigh is produced by STG, Scandinavian Tobacco Group. Let me get it lit. Oh Lord. Figures my lighter's about to go out of fluid. But produced by STG, let me give you the description. It is a unique blend of aged tobaccos moistened with imported French and Dutch liquor. For a rich aroma, a mellow, comfortable smoke. Our unique combination of tobaccos is aged just long enough to ripen to maturity. Then it is lightly sprinkled with 3 imported liqueurs to provide this blend with its distinctive aroma and satisfying taste. The blend type is an aromatic. Its contents are burley and Virginia flavoring, alcohol, liquor. Cut is a coarse cut, but my eyes, I'll show you that now. My eyes and my 3rd grade education says that is more of a ribbon top cut, though it's kind of a cross between a ribbon and a shag. I wouldn't call that coarse. But once again, I'm just a guy that makes YouTube videos and not an expert. It is available in 1.5 ounce pouches or 12 ounce cans. Country, US, production is currently available. It has been available for many, many years. And while I'm talking, I let it go out. Tobacco reviews, overall it has a 3.0 out of a 4 rating on 171 reviews. Now the taste. What do I get from this? First of all, this is a different cut than the regular Sir Walter, and I'll probably be comparing it to that a lot because this is Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic Edition. But the base note, the base flavor of Sir Walter Raleigh, it doesn't list, it only lists this as alcohol and a liquor flavoring, but I'm convinced that your base topping that is on just the regular, the Sir Walter, which if I'm not mistaken is all burley. I might be wrong about that though. I could be wrong, so don't take anything that I really say to heart, you know. But the base flavors, the base notes and stuff that you do get from Sir Walter original are there in the background, but to the forefront initially is the alcohol flavoring. I don't know what kind it is. It says French and Dutch liqueurs. I mean, I don't know if it's a sugar-based alcohol, if it's a tater-based tomato. I don't know. But anyway, but that is there. You do get that, but it comes across as more of a I don't want to say rum because it's not a rum flavoring. But it's kind of along the lines of a whiskey or a bourbon type deal. But of course, you know, it's not bourbon if it's French and Dutch. But it just comes across as your just a basic, you know, mainline whiskey type. Now, it is sweeter than Granger, but I don't know if there's added sweetness. Usually I can tell that if it's something in the topping. Possibly the casing, which they're about all cased with sugar water. This might be a little bit more, but it might also be coming from the regular Sir Walter topping that I am convinced is there, though I have not seen a list of it anywhere. Because there is some molasses taste to it, which could also be natural from the burleys, as this is this is a mainly burley based. It says burley in Virginia. Now, as far as flavoring goes, I have not detected anything related to a Virginia, but that could be where the added sweetness is coming from also that I'm picking up. But the molasses is there in the background, especially on the retro hell. The licorice, the anisette, black licorice tone does poke its head through from time to time. But at the forefront, behind the liquor, of course, after I say you light it once, you don't have to have any relights, you don't have to do none of that stuff. I can't keep the damn thing lit. This typical, I'm telling you. And now my wife is calling. Hang on. Alright guys, I'm back. Please excuse me. I apologize about that. Nothing's ever 100%, you know, interruption free here, especially if you know about my dogs. But while I was talking to her, I went ahead and filled my lighter back up with some fluid, and we're going to light this back up. Like I said, I get frustrated because it's as soon as I say something in a video, it will always prove me wrong. It always happens. But let me close this back down so you can see my pretty blue eyes instead of the glare from the computer screen. Let's slide it back up and we'll talk about it a little bit more. It's a straight up no nonsense burley. Like I was saying, the alcohol flavoring is there. You do get whiffs of it as you go down a little further into the bowl after the first couple of minutes, but that's when the burley really comes to the forefront. The burley really will come through as a woodsy. I want to say it takes more of an oakish tone, possibly affected by the other toppings on it, especially the liquor. And then after that, once you get to that part, probably 5 minutes into the bowl, it's consistent through the rest of it. It stays the same, and it is very surprisingly satisfying. It's not the best flavor that I've got out of a tobacco, but it's absolutely just, like I said, it's a working man's tobacco. It's no nonsense. I can't talk about the room note because I have not discussed that with my wife with this particular blend, but I would imagine that it would be a more pleasant, sweeter room note as well. Funny thing about this one too, though, I do find myself actually inhaling it a lot. I don't know what it is about this particular blend, but this one actually, and Granger, that we're going to be lighting up next, for some reason I find myself inhaling it like, you know, like I used to. I was a cigarette smoker for 18 years. I don't do that with any other pipe tobaccos, though. I don't know if it reminds me of a cigarette, which it does not taste like one at all. If it's just the texture of the smoke. But it's very, very enjoyable, very satisfying. And off topic real quick, I did a review of Mark Twain Memoir. Mark Twain Memoir. And Pat actually is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just repackaged Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic. Well, up until then, I hadn't had Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic, and it had been a long time, actually. And I couldn't recall exactly, you know, everything about it, but he's right. He's 100% correct. And it's, I mean, close up, side by side, texture, flavor, everything. I'm positive, like him, that the Mark Twain Memoir is just repackaged Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic. But anyway, food for thought. Not overly sweet, but sweet. Strangely satisfying, just like the Mark Twain. The flavors are wonderful. The flavors are consistent. That is, if you prefer burleys. But the sweetness is weird too, and I remember having that problem with the Mark Twain. Is that usually I can pick up in my jowls, you know, the difference between if a sweetener, an artificial sweetener, so to speak, or even a natural sweetener is added to the topping and not the casing. I can usually detect that because it just has a different mouthfeel, you know, in the on the sides of your tongues towards the back. And this doesn't really sit into either one of those categories. It's just a sweeter, very enjoyable smoke with the light molasses, licorice tones in the background, a more woodish burley up front. And a lot of times some alcohol flavorings will add a harsh, just a harsh aspect to the overall blend, to the overall experience. But this alcohol flavoring, when it's there, it seems to more like just round everything out. But it's a very well done blend. It's been very popular for many, many years for a reason. And it's one that I will always have a pouch set back to. But alright guys, let's move on to Granger. We'll talk about that. This video is going to be a lengthy one, I'd imagine. Now Granger is burley. It's all burley. Let me go ahead and give you to the description and some notes about it. Also produced by STG, Scandinavian Tobacco Group. Granger Pipe Tobacco is a classic American burley based blend with a slight top flavor. The rough cut classic lights and burns easily, delivering a smooth, crisp, mild, medium bodied smoke and a pleasant, fragrant room note. Once again, I can't really comment on the room note, but I would imagine that it's probably not as pleasing as Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic. Now, it does say in the description that a slight top flavor, but then when you get down onto it, it says flavoring none. Somebody forgot to dot their T's and cross their I's. Blend type is burley base, contents burley, flavoring none. Cut is coarse cut. And yes, it is. That is the cut. That will basically pack itself. You just fill it up to the top. Push it down a little bit with your finger, or with your tamper. It's very forgiving, very easy to smoke, very easy to keep lit. Now earlier I mentioned I didn't know if this was from a pouch or a tin, but it does seem that the packaging is only in tin form now. I did not know that at first. I actually had never tried Granger until Pat sent this to me. Has an overall score of a 2.8 out of 4, 124 reviews. Now Granger, let's talk about it. When I like Granger, I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I have, I mean, everybody that lives here that's family's been here for a while has a history of family members working in the coal mines because that's what we did. You know, Pike County was the United States, you know, #1 producer of coal. I don't think it still is, but for 100 years, you know, that we basically powered America from our little county here in Pike County. And that's what I think of when I smoke Granger is, I don't know if you've ever seen a coal miner, but when you come home from work, I worked in the mines too in my early 20s, and I mean, you're black, you're just covered in coal dust head to toe, you're muddy, you're tired, you're wore out, and I would say this is the blend you would probably smoke because it's just a hard-knuckled working man's blue collar blend. It's very one-dimensional from top to bottom, but that is a good dimension. There is the molasses, the licorice taste. It could be a natural product, natural flavors from the burley, though I do detect that it is topped, even though part of the description says there is no flavoring added. It's not as sweet, and I promise you, it's just as easy to keep lit. Just as satisfying as Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic, if not more satisfying. It's a no-nonsense, plop down on the couch, get your pipe, pack it full of some backer, and have you a good wind down relaxation smoke. The nicotine is, I feel it might be a touch higher than Sir Walter. It's easier and more detectable than a lot of the other blends that I smoke. Palate cleanser. One important thing too, though, off topic again, which I'll probably do a standalone video on this as far as part of tasting nuances. But when you have a drink with while you're smoking a pipe, and it's one that you're trying out, a new one you might not be familiar with or something like that, one that you're really trying to taste nuances on, one of the worst things you can do is drink something cold. We're talking my fridge, I think it's set at like 36 degrees. It's best to drink liquids around no less than, you know, 55 to 60 degrees. The coldness will actually mute your taste buds, and it will really interfere with your olfactory, you know, your perception to taste, because coldness will dampen the sensitivity on your tongue and stuff. That's why coffee or warm drink seems usually to go a whole lot better with pipe tobacco. But if you do have a cold drink, it's best to kind of let it set out a little bit first, maybe warm up. That is if you're going to be searching through a particular tobacco. But anyway. Yeah, I think of 12 hours, hard labor, and this is probably a tobacco that would do when nothing else would in those circumstances. I'd imagine back in the day, this probably got rolled as much as it did put into a pipe. And now I've got a decision to make. I've got a decision to come to, because I've drug this video out long enough. Which the first videos in all of these will always be a little bit more lengthy, because, you know, I got to go through and explain everything first. Both of them have that woodsy tone, the molasses tone. More so from Granger, because it's not that it's more flavorful, it's just it's not interfered with by other flavors. Now Granger, there's notes in it besides the molasses as far as the burley goes. It's kind of like sticking your head in a freshly made cabinet. Yeah, it tastes like maybe like a walnut cabinet made out of walnut wood. But that's what it reminds me of as far as the smell that I get from it, and the flavors from the retro hell. An unfinished cabinet, just open the door, stick your head in, breathe in that aroma. That's Granger to me. Both of these blends are very satisfying. Both of these blends, even though this is the first matchup and they got paired up against each other, on any given day, both of these blends could possibly take the entire championship, but only one can move on today. But when I end this video, I'm going to finish a bowl. I'm going to finish one of these. Actually, I'm going to finish them both, but one of them I will finish first. Side note, Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic, of course it is a little bit moister when I open the pouch, but then again, my Granger didn't come from a pouch, it came from a baggie. But it burns a little wetter. You may have to use a pipe cleaner about halfway through. Well, that went out. But, oh, this is the part that I hate. Sometimes I like it, but this is the part that I hate. The bowl that I will finish first after I stop recording this video, and the tobacco that will move on to face the winner of Velvet and Smoker's Pride Cherry Cavendish is, congratulations to Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic. There's just more to it. There's just more, it's not multi-dimensional, but it's not one-dimensional. It's probably about 1.5, because it's the flavors that you do get are consistent. They are always there for the most part, except for the alcohol, which will dissipate to me shortly after lighting. But I still feel that in other ways that aroma and that texture does stay there, because it's not just the burley that you're getting. It's not just the Virginias, like I said, it may come through in a sweetness, but I don't get any Virginia type flavors. But it seems to offer a little bit more than the Granger, and that's what I'm craving at the moment right now, is just a little bit more than a straight burley based tobacco. Granger, any given day of the week, I can smoke this, be happy, be satisfied. The same with Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic. If I was stuck with either one of these two tobaccos for the rest of my life, so be it. I would still smoke a pipe. But today, Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic will be moving on. Props to Granger. Big props to Granger. It's one that I will also always keep around, and my mind might change on this tomorrow. But guys, whether you agree with me, whether you don't, both of these are good tobaccos. And next week we will have Edward G taking on Aaron Gobra. But for this week, props to Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic for moving on to the next round. And that'll be probably a month from today by the time I actually get around to that video, and it's going to have its hands full. I've already kind of made up my mind on the matchup between Velvet and Smoker's Pride Cherry Cavendish, but I have a good idea of who Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic will be facing in that battle. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have anything to say, drop it down in a bucket. I'm tired of deleting negative comments. I'll just answer them. I'll just talk to them. A lot of times people did that, but you know what? If they got something to say to me, I've got something to say back. So, you know, I'll always reply to any comment, no matter how bad it is or how good it is. But guys, thank you all so much for watching, and looking forward to next week. Y'all take care.